should be good. Yep. Oh shit, hold on. Pause this. All right, cool. How's everybody doing? Hopefully we're all quite well. Whoever may be tuned in, if anybody. Close that. Refresh. Pop it open. Eat. Probably head to the Red Sox. Who, Vlad Jr.? Probably. However, I don't know if the Red Sox are as guaranteed as people may think. Depending on like the state of the Angels, that's always a really big probability. He did grow up like in the Angels clubhouse with the Angels organization. Teams like Detroit come to mind. Only because like historically Detroit does trade for players like this. You could think of like trading for Miguel Cabrera right before his contract came up. Happy early birthday, man. There'll be baseball on your birthday, the start of spring training. But historically you should look to teams that do trade for players, because most likely we're going to see Vladdy probably get traded. Because there's probably a very small likelihood. The Dodgers are a shot to get him too, because again, he grew up in Los Angeles or spent a lot of time there, or in that LA area. Anyway, I know Anaheim's a little bit different than where the LA is directly, but close enough. They're like crosstown rivals, basically. Where do the Angels act? Do they play in Los Angeles specifically, or because I have no idea how Cali works. Is Anaheim really close to Los Angeles in like proximity? I only ask because I believe you live out in Cali, so you would have like the best approximate knowledge of this, I would guess. It kind of sounds like you live out in like the. By the way, thank you for the 53 months. It's crazy, man. You've been around for a while. It's always thankful. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to think about where Guerrero might wind up, find himself playing. Well, hopefully people show up. Not looking so good, though. It ain't looking hot. Hopefully it picks up. We'll see. But yeah, like again, back to the Tigers a little bit. They've done like the Prince Fielder trade on top of the Cabrera trade. They've traded for players like Austin Meadows. They've traded for and splashed on guys like they tried to get Bregman. They signed Javi Baez. Again, this isn't a team that is like afraid to go after big name marquee players. And historically, they do like to trade for guys like Vladdy. They have one of the best farm systems that can entice a team like the Blue Jays to come talk. I think Detroit and Toronto, despite being rivals, I think they have a pretty decent relationship in terms of like front office shenanigans. I don't know. I don't know if they'll trade with AJ Hinch, but I mean, the Tigers are definitely a team to like keep an eye on in that situation. Because again, if you're the Tigers, you have a very good trade chip in a player like Colt Keith and Kevin McGonigal, right? Those are two very promising young players that give the Blue Jays kind of positions of need in a shortstop in McGonigal in a couple years, maybe even this year. And then, of course, the Tigers have a kid named Brent Rayner that's kind of coming up through the minors that's probably going to be better than McGonigal. So the Tigers suddenly have this kind of expendable, like damn near top 100. I think he is a top 100 prospect that they can kind of move around if they wanted to. And again, you then also could look at Colt Keith, who's an already ready to go guy on a pretty cheap contract. Because again, Tigers gave him like that 6-year, $80 million contract or whatever. So they kind of inked him up. He's pretty good. Don't have to worry about a lot. And he plays first base, second base, third base. So again, if you're looking for a replacement first baseman who's young and cheaper than Vladdy, Colt Keith isn't a bad option. He's a pretty good little ball player, especially with the bat. He turned it around last year. So again, you could start to see like the parts of that trade facilitate and materialize. It would be expensive for the Tigers, but again, due to the fact that they have a loaded farm system, especially at the positions that they would trade away, they're kind of okay. They actually kind of have a logjam at certain positions, which wouldn't hurt them in trading guys away. But again, most likely he winds up with the Dodgers next offseason for a $1 million or for like a $2 contract, and it'll be like Vlad Guerrero signs a 10-year, $650 million contract with the Dodgers. $649,999,099 is deferred for after his deal ends, and he'll be paid $1. So that's going to basically be 10 cents a season if you can't add the numbers up. Plus a small signing bonus of $20 million. And everyone's just like, yep, that's good. Look at the Dodgers playing good, honest baseball. I think killing baseball right now is sort of this deferred money stuff, but I don't know. I don't think it's good. I don't necessarily think they should stop allowing it. Well, I don't know. No one's showing up to this, are they? Well, that's a bit unfortunate. I think it's just me and you, Daniel. So hopefully it picks up in the next little bit, or else we're probably just going to call it. Hoping more people come by, but I guess it's just not the night for streaming. Everyone's super busy watching gay porn or whatever it is they watch on Tuesday nights. I don't know. This is the worst time of year for this channel, so I'm not really too stressed about it. I was just hoping there'd be a few more people. Hopefully the baseball streams are actually pretty good this year. That'd be a bit of a bummer if they weren't. It's like, damn, what happened to my channel? Why'd it die so hard? But we shall see. Nope, nothing happened at all. Yeah, literally, I went to see if anything good happened in football, and there's just nothing. You're going to go to the Mavs-Pistons game? Oh, yeah. That should be a good-ass game. Thank you, man. I appreciate the donation, Daniel. You're far too kind, my friend. Appreciate the continued success, or support of the channel, rather. It's a pretty good game to get to go to as well. What, are you just going to be down in Texas? Pistons are good at basketball all of a sudden, too, which is pretty cool. But thank you, man. I appreciate you. You'll be down in Texas. Are the Texas Rangers technically a Dallas team then? I don't know why I randomly I always wonder about that. I'm like, are they like the Dallas Rangers, but they just kind of don't call them that? It's always things I like to wonder about, like a team like Texas, where I'm like, why are they the only team in that state that are named like that? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, they're very proud of naming their sports teams after the cities, except for the Texas Rangers. They're just like, we'll just name this for the whole state. I know football's a little bit more serious in Texas than baseball, so that might be it. They might not have cared. They're just like, just name it after the whole state. Who gives a fuck? We're not going to get another team here. And then the Astros popped up a few years later, and they're like, oh, shit. Should have named them the Dallas Rangers. I hate that I don't like the way that the MLB is set up with videos. Really stupid. Here's how the Padres can get even better. I don't know what the Padres can do. They have a good team. They just don't win games. Yeah, it's nice to have baseball back. Something to watch every day, something to enjoy. Yeah, hopefully. Who was that pitcher that came over last year that wasn't all that exciting? Who was that? I just literally cannot remember. Japanese guy. Went to the Cubs? Or was it the Dodgers? Did he go to the Dodgers? It might have been. It probably was the Dodgers, now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, these are this is the opening weekend of baseball. Thursday. There's Yamamoto, that's who it was. How was he last year? Did he kind of live up to the hype? I just can't remember. I feel like I remember he was kind of like really bad at first, and then he got pretty solid. Then he was pretty solid. Then he got hurt, and then I have no idea what happened after that. Did he blow his arm out? And didn't Imanaga pitch very good for the Cubs? He was pretty good, not bad in playoffs. Yamamoto. Yeah, he was real rocky at the beginning, if I remember correctly, and he get roughed up. But he is a rookie, so that's not like that surprising. And the pro league in Japan is professional baseball, but it's not quite on the level of professional baseball. What's up, Spears? By the way, if you guys could leave some likes, help out the stream, we could really use it today. But yeah, pretty exciting slate of games. You got the Cubs and the Dodgers to open out the season, even though it's just the preseason. But still, you know what I mean? We got baseball on Thursday, the 20th. Right here, we're 2 days away, literally a day away. You don't really count today. This day's over. So we're pretty much staring down the barrel of the season. Oh, yeah, he went to the Cubs. That's pretty sweet. What's up, Sean? Yankees and Dodgers rematch. Ugh. No, I'm sorry, Spears. It'll be the Tigers playing the Dodgers this year. And the Tigers are going to beat them stupidly. And then I'll get to celebrate a World Series. And then when the Patriots win the Super Bowl this year also, I'll be a pretty happy guy. I'll get a Tigers and I'll get a Patriots Super Bowl this year, I'm pretty sure. I think it's finally going to happen. Especially if we can pick up this Vlad Guerrero character. It is funny that we're like one of the potential landing spots for no fucking reason to get Vladdy. It's like, well, hell yeah, welcome to Detroit. But like, we've been in this weird like, and then there's also Detroit. It's like, what are we in Detroit? What are we in Vlad's window for? Spears, you don't know that my team's in like the weird, like, it's like we're like so far out of the contendership, but like we're a peripheral contender to get Vlad. Simply just because we could trade for him this year, right? And we have better trade chips than like every team that you can think of. Other than like the Dodgers. And the Dodgers don't trade their prospects right away. And I don't think they need a first baseman. Don't they got Freddie Freeman and a good DH? I don't think first base is a big concern for that team, nor is filling a DH. So I don't think they have any use for Mr. Vlad Guerrero. So the Dodgers probably actually aren't really interested in getting Vlad, just because I think, again, they have a good first baseman. I think they have a good young first baseman in the wings. Oh, I know, Spears. But again, the Tigers have like a crazy amount of people they could trade. I think as good as they are, the Dodgers have a chance at not winning the NL West. Arizona and San Diego have good teams, and the Dodgers rotation has a lot of. Yeah, the Dodgers could be in for a weird year this year. They've played a lot of extra baseball. They're a little bit older of a team. We'll see how it all plays. But like they have no middle ground, right? It's this weird team of like extreme age veterans and like first and second year players for pitching. So again, when your pitching is that extreme, it kind of doesn't. It like there's like a weird misfire. While they'll still be a very good team and be a playoff team 100%, it might be a little, like Sean said, there might be a little bit of a weird mix. A charity stream? Nice, man. That's always a good thing. What charity are you giving the money to? Like some like an autism cause? It's like no, I want a new car. Damn, we're down to 2 people now. What's up with today? That's okay. Guess people this stream just isn't going to really be a winner today. Yeah, we got up to 6 whole likes. It's not too bad. Oh, now no one's watching. I guess there's probably a lot more people watching than 0. Could be nobody. Everyone could have left. St. Jude's, I'm on. Nice. Probably if you want, I could come on, but you'd have to give me a time and a date. Probably gonna buy opening day Dodgers tickets. Nice. Who are they playing opening day? Anybody good? Or just kind of like well, they'd probably have to because they probably open the season. I would have to imagine they're game 1. Right? Oh shit, yeah, I forgot you. Well. Yeah, Sean, I don't know. That's why I can't really care about the count now. There's at least 3 of us here and it's saying 2, 1, 0. I have no idea. Well, it makes me feel a little bit better. Now I can just be like, there's way more than that people here. But it is what it is. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Vlad. It's a very interesting piece of trade, and like, again, it feels like a trade, right? Because if you're the Blue Jays, you can't just let that go, right? Yeah, I don't mind that, Spears. You just have to give me a date. Tigers back to the playoffs. I'm thinking so, Emmanuel. It feels like an inevitability with the Detroit this year. As long as they can stay healthy, they should be solid this year. And I feel like there's still another move that they're going to make. I think they're going to try to sell out Torkelson somewhere, and there's going to be somebody that they can get for him. And I think it's going to be a halfway decent player, so we'll see who they wind up getting. Really interested in seeing how Seguano transitioned to MLB. What position? And he's on your team, I'm guessing. But yeah, I'm also interested to see how Jackson Jobe does this year. He's probably one of my favorites to win Rookie of the Year. I think that kid's got like phenomenal, like phenom type shit for him. He got to pro baseball real quick. I can see Toronto and the Mets working out a deal for Vlad. Yeah, I could see that too. The only issue is they have Pete, and I think they could use a DH. They'll move Pete over to DH. However, I think they want to use Soto as a DH a little bit. Starting pitcher. Oh, okay. I'll have to look into him. March 7th. Yeah, that should work. We'll probably have to initially talk in like YouTube comments, and then we can. I'll just give you my email. Huh. I've just never heard of the guy, so I'll have to look into him. Again, I'm telling you, Sean, well, why would they? Pete's just as expect. Like Pete has a huge contract too. That like, I guess I don't know. If you're Toronto though, would you take a Colt Keith, Kevin McGonigal, and maybe like another player in a package trade? Let's see. Who else could go? How you Lee, how Yo Lee from Detroit as well, and then maybe Troy Melton, or a relief pitcher. I don't know. I think you could offer something like that to Toronto, and they'd be very enticed. Very talented young shortstop in the MLB Top 100, Colt Keith, and then Lee, who's been a very dominant young like infielder down in AAA, Double A, Single A. He's a menace. I wouldn't know off the top of my head, Spears. I don't really collaborate with a lot of people, so that one's always a little bit of a tough one for me. Just kind of have to contact the people you know, people you watch. You'd be surprised. You never know who might agree to do something like that. You just gotta leave comments. You can hope that some like, you know, decent sized channels maybe watch your or like, you know, watch their comments and actually like look at them. You thought they were gonna go after Alonso, then trade Vlad to the Mets before Alonso resigned. Yeah, that's I thought Alonso was out too. I thought the Mets were done with the guy. I don't know. I just don't know if the Mets are going to go for a position they have pretty well stocked. And I feel like, again, you get like a slightly better bat, but it's like the defense is the exact same. I don't know. You're not getting out much cheaper. But again, they tried to pay Vlad, but Vlad was just like, what the fuck is that? And he kind of laughed off the contract offer and went on his way. Such it is, though. Such it is. But yeah, most likely we'll see Vladdy get traded here, because again, if you're Toronto, you can't really just let him walk. That'd be like a crazy move. But you keep him for what, like the beginning of the year up until maybe the trade deadline, see how the season goes. Maybe you're having a good year and you just say fuck it. You're gonna do a 24-hour stream. That's a little difficult. Hopefully you can pull it off. Might want to get some endurance training in. I don't really know how. I guess just stay up late. I don't know. It'll be interesting. That shook up the offseason a little bit, made it a little bit more interesting, or I guess the beginning of the season rather. Because again, Toronto could also just rip the Band-Aid off and see, you know, oh well, we'll give it a year. We'll just have a bad year. Something weird going on with Toronto. They have money. I mean, they always fall short. They're always in on everybody, but like again, like you said, there seems to be something weird where they just can't keep anybody and no one wants to stick around. Or sign rather. I meant to say no one wants to stick around. Nobody wants to sign. Nobody, you know what I mean? They just can't build a good team. And it's weird because it's like they clearly care about that baseball team. They love that fucking team. They have great fans, good uniforms. So it's, you know what I mean? It's like, damn, is it really just playing up in Toronto sucks ass? Did the pandemic just like startle baseball players into going, we're not doing this. Fuck this. How do you think the Yankees? Oh, they'll be one of the best teams in baseball. I mean, they're too expensively put together to not be. You know what I mean? It would be a bit odd if they were a bad team. Hold on. Yeah, it could be that. I don't know if they're subjected to Canadian taxes though. In Canada, unless they live there. Um, I think there's an exemption for American athletes that play sports there. I don't think they get taxed. I could be wrong. They could get, and if that's the case, yeah, that's why they're not getting people to stay. But Vlad lives in Canada. I'm like, right? He's Canadian. Like he's like born up in Canada. I think Vlad Sr. lives in Montreal full time. Correct? Or like they move between Canada and fucking Venezuela, but it's not really safe to live there like long term as rich as they are. And again, it's not that there's anything wrong with living in Venezuela. It's just like in those kind of countries, athletes' families become high targets of non-violent kidnappings. And again, I kind of stress the non-violent part because again, nobody ever gets hurt. It's just like I think Miguel Cabrera's grandma got taken kidnapped once. She just got taken by some guys, and they're like, he has to come pay us a whole bunch of money. That's why Miguel, I don't think he lives in Venezuela, except he visits there. Like he'll stay there for like a couple weeks, and then he gets the fuck out. I think he lives in like Florida full time. Because again, when you have athletes in those kind of like areas, and you have people who are in pretty dire circumstances in some of those countries. And again, they're not trying to be like evil because they're not literally like completely unharmed. They just want money. That's why you never really hear about it. The athletes keep it really quiet. Like if you ever hear of like a South American player like completely vanish and then you never hear about a death, but like they're dealing with a family emergency, usually it's some dumb shit like that going on, by the way. Like someone in their family got nonviolent kidnapped and they got to go like pay some dude some money to get where the person's at and get him back. Then they got to move their family up to the Americas because it's like, well, fuck, got to go to North America now, son of a bitch. Yeah, Vladdy probably does have because like he's Canadian, he's allowed to do shit in America pretty openly. And yeah, and he's 100% always allowed in Venezuela because he's like a national hero there. People are like, he's one of our favorite people ever. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a deleted stream. That's okay. You excited for your team, Sean? You guys are a year old or a lot more experienced. I think that's an invaluable thing to have is a ton of experience. Especially because your team is full of young talent that's still trying to like figure it consistently out. Aren't all your best players still like 26? Like, and that's like the oldest guy on the team. He's like, yeah, I'm the leader of this team. I'm 26 years old. You know what I mean? Oh. Who the hell is Boston, the Red Sox playing? I always appreciate the sort of silliness of a pro team playing a college team. I think that's a New England University playing the Red Sox. I think that's a very long-standing tradition, though. No other goofy ones right away. That's kind of a bummer. You always kind of hope to see more like hilarious matchups. First time the Orioles have a pitcher with legitimate playoff with Morton. Oh yeah, from the Astros. Man, the Astros that's going to be a different looking baseball team for the first time in a while. They lost like everybody. I think the only one left there is Altuve. Is he the only one left from the cheating squad? So yeah, when people boo them, just Altuve, it's like, well, okay, I guess now the boos can stop. If he's the only one left, it's like, well, he's the only not guilty one as far as I'm concerned. It's like, if you're booing the Astros still for the cheating, that's a little gay. I think that's a legitimate thing now. It's like, all right, who are we booing now? It was like booing the Patriots post Spygate. like 4 years and still being mad at the Patriots for Spygate. It's like the only people left from Spygate are Bill and fucking Brady. Who you booing? Morton since 21. Damn, dude. I have no idea. The Whiteside. Who the fuck is left on that Astros team? Hey, they got Alvarez. Yeah, he's not bad. I mean, they got Altuve. You want to know something funny? I didn't know. Hold on a sec. I gotta show you guys something. Yeah, so he's not even like one of the guilty ones. I was gonna say, wasn't he not with you guys during the scandal? So he's not even a guilty part. I literally think the only guilty guy left is literally Altuve. And he's literally like the only guy who wasn't guilty. Kind of like how AJ Hinch is like pretty much not guilty. But Martin has playoff experience. Yeah, that's what you need with Houston in 17-18, Tampa in 19 and 20. And yeah, 100%, Sean, that's what you need. That's Gleyber Torres. Isn't that fucking crazy? He looks like a weird, non-steroided out Uso brother. Like the one Uso who didn't get into pro wrestling and just kind of watches. He's like, I just don't want to do the family business, Us. It's crazy what a beard does to Gleyber Torres. He looks like a completely different human being. That's literally Gleyber Torres. Completely different looking human being. Have you guys seen what Clay Holmes looks like? I got another funny one. Dude, people leave the Yankees and gain a whole personality. It's very funny. Hold on, let's see if this works. Look at that. He's even growing a beard. Isn't that crazy looking? I still think Gleyber Torres has the craziest post-Yankees glow-up I've ever seen. He's literally about to be one of our best players this year, and I'm so excited. Another player rescued from the grips of the Yankees. It's always it's a blessing to see it every time. You know, the opposite happened once with was it Johnny Damon who went from the Red Sox to the Yankees? He used to have like a long hair and a crazy beard, like a long beard, crazy long hair, and then he went to the Yankees and he popped out with nothing. It was just like, whoa. That was one of the most shocking changes, I think, in MLB history. Not many people probably remember that. You have to be a little bit older to remember when Johnny Damon became evil and cut the hair and beard off. No, just find a video to comment it on, man. That's fine. I go on my recent upload. That video needs some attention in the worst way. Oh, dude, yeah, Gleyber is just like the happiest looking guy in the Tigers clubhouse. It's great. Well, I mean, the Yankees have the dumbest rule of like the way that if they get rid of that one rule, I bet you players they get better players. I guarantee half the reason Juan Soto didn't want to sign there is because of like the weird clean cut rule. And Juan probably wants to grow a goatee or some stupid shit. He's like, what if I want to grow a goatee? And they went, we can't have that. And he was like, I'm not sticking around then. And I guarantee it was some dumb. They've probably lost players over this, and I'm probably not even being silly. Like it's like, you guys don't win anymore, so I don't care. Like you shouldn't have this standard. However, it is whatever. I guess it's adorable, I suppose. You're allowed to have no swagger when you play for the New York Yankees. If you get any further than Derek Jeter, you're kind of pushing it. We prefer boring as shit on this baseball team. By the way, if you guys could drop a couple likes, help the little stream out, I'd appreciate you. May even hit the tens of likes tonight. That'd be pretty cool. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm very excited, man. I can't wait for Saturday. I get to actually watch baseball. I'm so stoked for baseball. I might watch a little bit tomorrow or Thursday. I doubt it though. I don't think I'm going to watch the Dodgers preseason baseball game. That's some like crackhead shit. I don't really care for the Dodgers. Are we all just kind of bracing ourselves for the trade of Vlad to the Dodgers, and then the Dodgers signing him to a 10-year $1 billion contract, but a billion of it is basically deferred till after he's done playing? And everyone's just like, yeah, that's just fair. That's completely fair. Other teams should just compete. It's like, where do they have that much money? Where are they getting this money? Are they just making up numbers and being like, they'll never call us on this? Yankees don't really scare me. If Cole or Fried get hurt, they are screwed, and Orioles have a lot of pitching depth. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. They seem to survive without Cole for a lot of last year, and now Fried's maybe a little bit different story, but it seems like they did kind of, if I remember right, last year they had a decent amount of injuries to their pitching, and they somehow still stammered through because everyone got healthy at the end, which is, the most important part. Similar to the Tigers, we got healthy in like August and just didn't lose again. That was crazy what we've seen out of the Tigers. You think we'll see that again from a team this year? Or fuck no. Because again, that was the first time a team's ever done that in history, by the way. The dramatic amount of a turnaround. There will undoubtedly be a team that does turn around in June, like late July, June, or late July, August time. It always happens, but I doubt we'll see another team be 6-7 games under 500 and then make the playoff on one of the craziest runs we've ever seen against really a ridiculous schedule too. They played like the Yankees 3 times. They had to play the Dodgers in that shit. They had to play like they were playing like division leading teams and just kind of beating them 2 out of 3 with one of the funniest ways of pitching I've ever seen. And basically with the way the Tigers won games last year, they just kind of went with the numbers and went, we'll just pull our pitchers after one time through the rotation, except for Skubal. They'll never know what hit them. And like teams genuinely didn't know. I read what you read, Sean, but I didn't have time to read it before you deleted it. It is an interesting topic. This division, the AL Central is going to be a shit show of how good each. There's like 4 very good teams in that division, 3 good teams, and then the Twins are okay, and then the fucking Chicago, a free 30 wins for each of us this year. At least that's how it was last year. We did pretty good last year making the playoffs because we had Chicago in the division. That was pretty cool. But they won't be that bad this year. I don't get Cleveland signing means when they already have Bieber recovering from. They're just loading up on pitching because that's basically how they got as far as they did last year. And so they're like, we'll just sign a bunch of pitchers. We did this last year and it worked out perfect. Who knows what Cleveland's doing, man? Just the Guardians are the honest to God hardest team to ever predict. You just like they could win 60 games this year and they could win 90. It's one of the extremes. Our friend Max of the Sports Expert is very nervous that the Tigers are going to win the division this year. He didn't really like the teams. He hasn't liked a lot of the moves this offseason. He feels like Cleveland had kind of a bad offseason, or not as good a one that they could have had. A lot of like standing pat and not addressing concerns. Whereas like the Tigers were like, we need to get some guys who can hit left-handed pitching, and they got 2. And then they added in back in Flaherty. You know what I mean? Like Detroit had a very strong offseason. They like filled in a couple holes. They got a little bit better. And now they're just, their young stars are a year older. They're a terrifying team. If you can't figure them out, they're tough to fucking beat. They were a game away from the ALCS last year, which is crazy to think about, isn't it? Like the Tigers almost played the Yankees in the ALCS last year. That was game 5 with the Guardians. That's pretty crazy for a team that was projected to win barely 5, not even projected to be 500 when the year began. Of course, I predicted their record perfectly. If you look back to the beginning of the year, I said they should win between 83 to 87 games with my typical scale of about, I pick between 3 or 4 between my total win possibilities. I nailed that shit. and I said they should be a wild card team. If not win the no, I said that if they won't. I said they wouldn't make the playoffs. So I figured the rest of the league would be too good again, and we'd miss the playoffs if we didn't win the division. And I said we either win the division with like 86, 87 wins, or we miss the playoffs. But we made the playoffs, so hey, I was the fucking idiot. Yeah, and I like the Orioles too. I like the way you guys have built your team. Genuinely hope you guys win that division because I don't like the Red Sox whatsoever. Hate that fucking team. No real problem with the Yankees, just don't like them. Actually, I'm indifferent towards the Yankees. I'm one of the few baseball fans that just have no opinion on the Yankees. I'm just like, yeah, they're a team. And again, it's because they've done nothing in my entire life. In fact, they've been like a stepping stone for my team in the playoffs, and I have a lot of good memories against the Yankees in my life. Again, as a Tigers fan, I have no beef with New York. I don't like, except for we used to be division rivals, I suppose. And I'm supposed to hate the Yankees, I guess. I guess that's what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, but they won a bunch of World Series when none of us were alive, and there was like 10 teams and no black people playing. Like, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, they definitely won all the World Series when there was no other teams and, you know, just a bunch of like white dudes. Yeah. Yeah, and then they won like fucking 2 World Series since like the fifth. No, I'm just kidding. They won a bunch. They won a whole bunch in the 90s. Well, they win like 2 in the 90s and then 1 in the 2000s? Or did they win 3? Did Jeter get a dynasty? Why do I always not know this? I always feel like I should know this information. I'm like, was he a dynasty? He was, wasn't he? He won them 3. And then the fucking shock upset of the Diamondbacks. That was like the sign of what's to come for this century for the Yankees. Not sure what offer Vlad Jr. a 12-year contract. Big body like his, lose bat speed early, reminds me of Fielder. Yeah, but he also reminds me a lot of Miggy. He's very Miggy-esque to me. And I feel like that's a player we typically do make him. You know what I mean, Richard? Like, you're a longtime Tigers fan. A player like Vlad Guerrero is 100% the type of player the Tigers will go after. For whatever reason, they love players like Vlad Guerrero. And I feel like they'd sign and pay him. Like we went after Miggy, we went after Prince, we went after fucking Austin Meadows. They signed fucking Javi Baez. I'm telling you, they don't like shy away. They went after Bregman. I believe they went after Carlos Correa with like a $300 million contract. Like, it's not like Detroit's like shy to spend money. They've been willing to spend it. Just people aren't taking the money. Like, they offered Bregman an insane 6 years, $170 million, $28 million a year for Bregman. But Boston swooped in and offered 40, and he's stupid if he doesn't take that. Probably if you guys haven't dropped a like, you should. So it's just this, I don't know. I get what you're saying though about like the worry of him breaking down though. I think he takes very good care of himself in comparison to Prince Fielder, right? Whereas Prince and his whole family kind of suffered with being big fat idiots. I think Vladdy Jr. is a little bit huskier. However, I think him and his dad are also kind of like built that way. Like if you remember Vlad Sr., it's not like Vlad Sr. was like a toothpick. Vlad Sr. was real barrel chested too. And it wouldn't shock me if Guerrero Jr. looks kind of fat, but like if he pops the shit off, he's like jacked. You know what I mean? Biggest thing why I'm picking Baltimore to win AL East is because they have a team that wants to win together, not a bunch of players who just want the money or self-stat. Yeah, I 100%, Sean, 100%. That's like people underestimate the value of chemistry and team camaraderie, which is why the Tigers, I'm so against them signing and trading for players. And not a lot of people understand why. That's like, ideally, you don't have to sign any free agent, by the way. Like, ideally, you don't have to sign, maybe like one guy, like the Dodgers do, like a splash fucking young signing. The Dodgers don't go chase dog shit players all free agency all the time. Torque's not a starter anymore, Richard. Colt Keith is our first baseman going forward. Like Torque is basically a relegated bench player now. He's probably gonna get traded, man. Like remember how last year I said Keith would be such a good first baseman if we didn't have Torque? Well, the team agrees, and Colt Keith is a first baseman now, and he's actually really good at first base. So it's not it's not a surprise. Colt was very good at third, so it transfers really well over to first, which I'm glad about. That's where his dumbass belongs, is over at first, so we don't have to watch him throw the baseball no more. Just stand there and catch it, idiot boy. God, I hate Colt Keith on defense. Competent young bat, but boy, oh boy. But all Torque can do is field the ball. A guy who is a prodigious fastball hitter suddenly not being able to hit a fastball indicates a break. I don't know what's going on, and I don't think we're gonna fix that guy. The Tigers, by the way, am I crazy for thinking that they need to trade Torque over this? Like, I'd have traded him already if I'm Detroit. However, the Tigers just installed a state-of-the-art batting cage system, right? Has like so many different sensors and trackers and cameras and lights, and basically, you know how the Braves had like a state-of-the-art like new hitting system? Well, the Tigers signed a guy who was from the Atlanta and knew what that system was, knew what it was called, probably told the team to go get it, right? Because this is like his second or third year with the team, with the Tigers now. And again, he probably got them to agree to finally fucking upgrade, having an old guy with the stopwatch watch him swing. Because I'm pretty sure that was how they did batting practice. They just had a guy go, all right, go ahead and swing. Nice. Keep going. And just like timing shit with like watches and shit. Like it was like 1950. By the way, I'm not kidding. Detroit has like the worst fucking systems in all of baseball prior to this offseason. Yeah, and stupid fucking Torque. They asked him about this. Again, Atlanta's one of the best teams in developing young hitters. They have some of the best hitters in baseball because of these batting cages and how good they are. If you listen to the Braves players, even like the old stubborn players who use them are like, oh, they're so good. They're so nice. They like really help me get through things when I'm struggling. Because again, they can detect the subtlest changes that you're doing something wrong, which is what's happening to Torque, by the way. He's completely overthinking, trying to like stick like 8,000 pieces of like information in his head when a goddamn cage could be doing all the heavy lifting, and he could just be like, why am I behind on fastballs? Oh, this is why. It's like that simple. It watches you swing at a fastball and then times why you would miss a 94 mile an hour fastball. It's like, hey, you're like doing all these things wrong. And then it corrects it, and then once you start swinging right, you start hitting them. Like it's genuinely that good of a system. Yeah, and we have to hope Javi Baez is fucking back. Yeah, and yeah, that's our biggest problem right now. We got Glaber. That's a big help. He hits lefties at an 846 OPS. We have a few other righty bats in there. We got Jake, who hits lefty pitching. Okay. Yeah, I think we got a couple other guys. And Javi Baez, we really need that fucking cocksucker to have one more good year. Like, if we can just get Javi to flash for like 100 and like just have one good year where he's like a near MVP again. Not even that good. If we can just get 20 and 280 out of him, 270. I'm not even going to swing that. 265. We can get 265 out that piece of shit. And even if he only hits left-handed pitching at like a 900 OPS, like he's literally has done his entire career, and hits righties at a 100 OPS, I wouldn't even give a shit. As long as he comes out and crashes on left-handed pitching this year, I don't care what he does otherwise. He's going to be one of the top fielders in baseball. Don't care about that. We're good. Happy to see him back out there. And if he can literally just crush left-handed pitching, I don't care. Like I don't even care if he sucks at the plate and strikes out swinging against every right-handed pitcher he sees. If he's crushing lefties again, hell yeah. If we even get like a little bit of what he did on the Mets, that would be nice. 100%, it's going to happen, Sean. Yeah, you guys are definitely going to add it. All the teams are going to start adding in the cage system that the Tigers just got, that the Braves have been using. What's up, Lord? Yeah, and Yeah, it sucks. All of our good players are lefties. The only positive is Riley Green started hitting lefties at the end. He was hitting lefties pretty good last year. A lot of our left-handed hitters are starting to hit left-handed pitchers. They're just gonna have to. We're gonna just have to kind of suffer through a very uncomfortable growing period, and I think that was a lot of last year. I think our young lefties have come around and they hit lefties pretty good now. I bet you we have one of the higher lefty on lefty batting averages in baseball. I'd almost guarantee that shit because Riley hits him pretty solidly. He bashes him too. To the point where I think they stopped bringing in lefties to face Riley Green. Like, because for a ridiculous time last year, Riley Green was only hitting home runs off left-handed relief pitchers. And it was a pretty big flex. And I think teams were just like, all right, we're going to stop doing that now. Why? Every time that fucking piece of shit sees a lefty reliever coming in, he jacks a home run. That's a bad business move. He's clearly seeing something now, which seems to be true anyway. By the way, if you guys haven't dropped a like yet, consider doing so. We only need 2 more likes for 10, so that's pretty good. May hit 10 hole. Not surprised, most of the Tigers hitters are lefties. So are Baltimore, Elias, and Hinch think alike. Yeah. And lefty hitters are generally a little bit better. There's a lot more right-handed pitchers in baseball. So I think the majority of pitchers are right-handed, right? What is it, like fucking 70% of pitchers? 80% even? You know, that's why the left-handed hitter is so valuable over the right-handed hitter. In baseball, if you ever wondered why, because it's like a ridiculous ratio. And I think when you're younger, there'll be like one left-handed pitcher on a team, and he's usually the other team's best pitcher for whatever reason. It's just like, damn, dude, that left-handed kid just kills everybody. Except me. I did all my damage exclusively to left-handed pitchers. I'm like, fuck yeah, I can actually hit this guy today. Right-handed pitchers, I had no shot. Literally no shot. I just strike out. It's just like, shit. Can't see that. What a tricky angle. But when it's moving right across the plate, hell yeah, man. Right in my swing zone. Just sit dead red right down the middle, and eventually it comes, and you'll fucking crush it. I really just can't wait for the season to get going. Literally, Chicago and the Dodgers play Thursday, so that's cool. Fucking, I've been having an argument with a lot of Orioles fans that Kerstad. I mean, the only way he'll wind up getting more playing time, I feel like, is if he just plays better than O'Neill. Or do you think that they'll wind up just playing him because he is left-handed? I'm not too specific with like or too good on the specifics of your team's roster, so I do apologize with that part. Like, who's the better player? I think that's what it'll determine who's going to have the better preseason. That'll probably be the bigger thing. Which is nice because now we're at that point now where we can stop like the like a lot of the presumptions, really. It's always nice. But do you think they're just going to platoon it? Depends on pitching matchup, player matchup, because that's also, if Elias is a lot like Hinch, then your team's running on matchups every week. If we remember, I think the Tigers ran the same lineup once last year, like in back-to-back games. I think they might have only ran the same like actual lineups. Like I think they almost might have had 162 different lineup variants last year, like 160, which is wild to think about. Like that team never ran the same team in the same spot at any consistency. Again, a credit to Hinch, but again, Hinch very much cares about matchup, which is super analytical and combining kind of like an old school idea of like there is some gut punching going on with Hinch. You still got to run with your gut on a few things, but yeah, the Tigers are probably one of the smartest analytical teams in baseball now. It's fucking hilarious. They basically fucking analytic their way into the greatest comeback, like the greatest turnaround in league history. That was all analytics how they did that. I'm still pretty sure that's how they pulled that stupid shit off. They kind of not moneyballed it, but they like whatever the statistical version of Moneyball is, they pulled that shit off. Like a dog shit ass team, and they basically just ran the numbers, and somehow it just paid off in every turn in their direction. There could be a movie made about that. Like if they had gone to the World Series or like won it with like that kind of like just crazy method of what they were doing, that would have changed. That would literally have been a paradigm shifting moment in baseball, and it might have been. You never know. Baseball is a weird copycat league, and what the Tigers did, you can do that with not a lot of money. And you've seen Cleveland kind of copying what Detroit did last year, like in terms of like how they built their bullpen out and their pitching staff. Kjerstad is one of the last unproven young players, corner outfielders. So was O'Neill. They brought in O'Neill because Kjerstad, Mullins, and Cover were lefties in the Orioles. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna need a righty in there. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like O'Neill's gonna play occasionally. It sounds like Kjerstad's probably gonna play more. But it also probably is the matchup, right? If you see a lefty, you probably bring in O'Neill. If a righty's pitching, then you see the majority of Kjerstad. Until he develops. Again, if he like stands himself out as like a good player, it's like then they're just gonna play him. Who gives a shit? He's got to get past the bad part with lefties. Unless it's like a very important, I don't know. Because the Tigers have no qualm about pinch hitting Kerry Carpenter, and it's like they're one of the few teams in baseball that do some crazy shit like that, and it fails every time because they ain't gotten very many good players outside of Kerry. It's like, damn, we could have used him later in the game. AJ, what are you doing? He's like our only power hitter. Bring him back. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm running out of things to talk about, to be honest. And I might start rapping. What's up, Jacob? But I don't mind staying longer. If we find some things we can discuss. We're kind of just talking in a little bit of a circle here. Yeah. We got basically this weekend for games to kick back up, so pretty big weekend. One of the better weekends. Until opening day, this is a pretty solid weekend, Saturday my team plays. I think you guys play Saturday. Hope your Guardians will make the playoffs. They should. At least I think they will. Unless there's a complete fall off from where they were last year, but it doesn't seem like there should be. The whole AL Central looks pretty solid. I feel like the Royals are going to have a bit of a fall off, though. I feel like they hardly retained any of that team last year. And I think teams have kind of figured out that it's basically 2 or 3 good players. Witt, he's their only actual solid, really good player. They have an okay pitching staff, but Lugo isn't going to fucking do that again. I don't know. They had a weird statistical outlier season for half the roster. Literally, not even half. Like 3/4 of that roster has never played as good as they did last year. And that probably won't be the case this year. Unless they all just suddenly be like, bad, mediocre players sometimes have that like step forward. And they have like a breakout, not really a breakout, but like, just like a good flare year every so often where they're just randomly pretty consistent, especially when they're home. I also don't really see the Royals having those extreme splits at home and away this year where they're like unstoppable at home, but on the road they can't hit. I expect that to kind of level out a little bit. But again, they have Bobby Witt Jr. They got Vinny Pasquantino. As long as those two guys are healthy, they're a pretty dangerous little team to fucking deal with. Somehow those two guys, as long as those two guys and maybe a third guy in Massey, is pretty much all they need. But like again, if one of those guys go down, especially if it's Pasquantino or Witt, it's over. Like they just remember how bad they were free falling at the end of last year. They like Pasquantino got hurt and the Royals turned into dog shit. They had to get it all figured out. No, I think Sweeney's expected to start the season as the backup shortstop. But he might be better off getting like plate and at bats if he goes down. It might just be better off if he goes there. Don't underestimate Salvador. He's just getting old. I don't really what is he, 36 years old now? 37. Any player over 35 I just don't care about. It's like, well, if he's good then sweet. It's like, he's a Hall of Famer, so you got to keep him in mind. But he fell apart at the end of last year too. Remember, he was an MVP candidate till about halfway through the season. And then that age hit like a bag of bricks. Didn't he get hurt last year too for like the first time in his illustrious career? Again, he's one of my all-time favorite players. I really like Salvador Perez, but like his age started to show last year. So that's why it's not an underestimation of Salvador. It's the same thing as it was last year. If he plays good, it's not at all surprising. And he's a dangerous guy for probably 80 games this year. So I don't really care. It's like half the season, so I'm not, you know what I mean? But yeah, McKinstry might be in trouble. The only thing that saves Zach McKinstry is he can play every single position. And like I feel as though in baseball, every single team needs a ultra utility player. By the way, we're 2 likes away from 10 likes. If you guys could help leave that, this stream maybe can stay up. So help me out with 2 more, if you don't mind. I don't know about Minnesota. It's a bad offense and okay pitching, so I'm really not too sure how that plays out. White Sox should be pretty bad. Tigers best team in baseball. And then you got Cleveland. Can't believe they blew it to the Yankees in the ALCS like that. I don't think I've ever seen my team lose a game to the Yankees in the playoffs. Maybe not many. 100% not a series. Sheesh. Yankees ain't even that tough to beat as a Tigers fan, personally. What we got on this? I hate this homepage. I forgot that Goldschmidt went to the Yankees. Feels a little weird, doesn't it? I feel like it feels a little weird. Wait, how is this the opening? I thought we played the spring training, huh? I tried to get the regular season, but it's putting me on some shit. Oh well. Just trying to get some final thoughts in here. I don't know. 8? Hell yeah, that's pretty good. I think we could get to, I don't know, if you leave a like, that might put us at 9. Hell yeah, I think we're at 9 officially now. So we need one more for the 10 pack, which would be pretty good. So hopefully one more person has it in them. They could be lucky number 10, I believe. But I do appreciate everyone who's taking time to drop a like. It helps the old stream out, gets some more people in here, makes the stream look like it did a lot better than it truly did here tonight. So I do appreciate it. Here in the dead days of the channel, following the NFL and just before baseball starts. What else we got? I guess we're also we should probably keep our eyes on Nolan Arenado. That's another guy who might get traded. I'm not really sure what the Cardinals are up to. I don't know if they're in kind of a rebuild. I don't know if they're, you know what I mean? So I don't really know if their intention is to keep a player like Nolan, especially because it seems as though Nolan may want to dip out. He's not getting any younger. Cardinals are probably a year or two away from being a competitive team. So, well, it seems as though everybody stopped replying. So is that pretty much the end? Everyone, we're checking out here. We didn't quite hit the like goal of 10, but that's all right. Hopefully some people like it after the stream or something. Sure, if I stayed live for another several hours, I could accumulate more views, but I genuinely have nothing left to talk about. We seemingly hit all the major topics. I got my major points out. It's just a little tough when we're still not playing games technically yet. Suppose I could do like some power rankings or something on a stream and just kind of do a tier list heading into the year, heading into the preseason. That'd be pretty fun. Probably should do that. It's always fun to do like weird preseason rankings on stuff that's so far away to like be concerned about. I'd be like, all right, what's your pick right now for the It's like, I don't know. The fucking preseason hasn't even happened. What if somebody gets hurt? It's like, nope, need you to commit right now. Commit hard as you possibly can. All right, no one's talking anymore. Is this pretty much it for us? Is everybody all typed out? I do appreciate everyone hanging out, chatting though. Fun little stream. Maybe we'll hit double-digit likes. You never know. It says 10, but that means 9. Anybody got anything else topic-wise that they want to talk about? Anything brewing in your head about what could happen this year? Do we think the White Sox throw the towel in for another year to try to get down to Nashville? They're probably very close to getting this pulled off. If they could just have another, bad 2, maybe 3 more years, they get down there. Hopefully the MLB blocks that too. That's the ultimate funny ending to that saga is the total blocking of the move to Nashville. And they're just like, no, you just gotta stay in Chicago. Where do you think you're going? However, they're the Chicago team with no real history, so no one's really going to care if they decide to leave. It's the Cubs that are, well, I don't know. The White Sox are a pretty big deal. What am I saying? They're a pretty big deal. All right. Well, everyone left, it looks like. So, all right. I'm out of here, everyone. Appreciate you. Have a good rest of the night, everyone. Peace out. As always, it's go Lions, go Patriots, and of course, it's always go Tigers. And yeah, days away from games. Woo. Bye-bye. Have a good night.